Kitigaaryuit Kittigazuit Whenever 1986 में ICS को टाउनगा तारुक टोले और एक्टर दुकान यालुनाए Prince of Wales Heritage Center तारुक टोले और ते याक्ता हलुगे कोई अनाक तो कम तारुक टोले ने तारुक टाक्टर ने वो तारुक टोले क्यों
Hello, I'm Topsy Cockney. I'm here at Kitigaaryuit, mouth of the Mackenzie River above the Arctic Circle. My ancestors have lived here for over 10,000 years. We are a group of Inuit known as the Siglik. We don't live in Kitigaaryuit or the old traditional way anymore, but for thousands of years this was an important site.
What we're trying to do is rescue some of the information that's being lost as the villages are washed away by the river. At one time, people used to build their sod houses right along the banks of the river, right on top, up here. And every spring, during breakup, the water level rises. The Mackenzie River washes against the side of the river, and the banks are starting to fall down. And as the banks fall down, the old houses, the old sod houses, the artifacts, the bones of the animals that people hunted, are all being washed away by the river. And we're losing this information very, very rapidly. And maybe in another 10, 20 years, most of these old archaeological sites will be completely gone. We've been aware of the problem for about 30 years. And some archaeological work was done 30 years ago, a little bit again about 15 years ago. But the territorial government has only had an archaeology program in place for 6 years now. And we began our work in the Mackenzie, at the mouth of the Mackenzie River, after the first year of operation. We saw this as being one of the most serious rescue problems that we had for archaeology.
Stuff like that.
There's a lot of artifacts that we're finding in these sites. The people lived in these sod houses in the wintertime, year after year after year, and a lot of artifacts fell down on the floors and got lost or thrown out of the entrances after they were broken. And we're finding more artifacts in these archaeological sites than probably anywhere else in the Arctic.
Is there anything else coming out here? Is it out of this level? Is it just bone or any pottery or wood or anything? Bone. Bone, okay.
Excavating the artifacts from these archaeological sites is really only the first step in understanding how people lived hundreds of years ago. We take some of the artifacts back to the lab and we study them there, and we try and determine what they were used for, how they were made, but there's so little that's known about the people that lived in this area. Very little of their history was ever written down.
Archaeologists are learning a lot from these artifacts, but many of them are still a mystery. That's why the Siglik elders are being asked to reach back into their own memories. We don't really know what kinds of tools people used or what kind of hunting they did. The only people that could give us that information now are the Siglik elders. They are the ones who used some of these tools when they were younger or heard stories from their fathers, mothers, grandfathers, and grandmothers. So they're very important sources of information. The other reason it is so important that the elders be involved in this project is this here is their own culture. In order to be meaningful, the elderly people whose culture it really is have to be involved in learning about their past.
Where about you find these?
These are all from Gupak. Yeah, all of these tools are from Gupak.
Ice name here. This way.
Bowhead whale.
Like that.
Ice name.
Bowhead whale.
You know what's that in your hand? Toothpick.
Toothpick? The little hole on the end?
Needle.
Pass that around there. Needle.
All the stories that were told in Tuktoyaktuk had been told. Bringing the Siglet elders to Kitigaaryuit brought back many memories from their earlier years and the many stories they remembered that were told to them by their parents and grandparents.
The lad 2000 ngô 1906. Nung được thoát đất em tuổi xám ấy. 6 mình gà đến 1915 muốn nung được nung khai hồng được thôi. Anh nếp sụp là khá đồ rát nô loang ít tụi ta. Đây mà. Đây mang gà đó, đây mới cô thao tàu, Kitigaaryuit. Cô bác lộ. At cái sĩ quên lộ. Skåne Sand. That's what Hasla Island. When Paro Tamasatukli.
Pagkataywa umani sisto ako akalwakta. Sisto mo ba ina? Warehouse ba? Malako yo ala ko warehouse ay pa warehouse mi kung ano nigat. Tay kung sinulo tay lugiyak po. Tamnapta ko iglutukto yakto mo no talawat. Manit pang nakta kingubati ko iliyak tamna. Tay mga kanani lak house ito ani biginigaka. Ani biginigak po bagut. Ani hatit kalutamat ko at. Taka nang ngani nasin nun nakta ni tay ko nga. Tay kang nganin. Ubani unang iyo kalwarig lo. Miklinigat. Nakuyo kalwarig lo tam na. Nayok po tayo ba? Tingod lang ubang ngawlak sa kakata. Ubanit kaklutasin. Naloko kaya mo amamaga. Ako yiyak tok pagtuan eh. Pinakagsamita mo kakluta. Kakinig lunig aktok ni mane. You know, pinapaktak lugit. Nigak. Nigak to ni.
Sapusa.
Tayo man na niribaktuani. Kakajuni kami piuya itu tinggal lana. Kakajuni lewat paktu tinggal.
Tajwa oblok pag ni tamat kunani katitlak pagtuat Kitigaaryuit nilo. Anis malo hasla lamundo. Sinata mata manin waktak. Tajwa kaloligatsia kana nilok tutik liya manguni watak. Kati magala kami stawer na at kada excited. No sito natin. No rasen. No pitch. Tajwa nadireaktulok tutik tamay. Wano takawa mo. Tamajat ambi tamat ko tuwa luit au yami asino mo akpan na akbaksok to along no tuni bluit. Dahil man yami akbaksok panaktuat Inuit. Mo akpamit inuyang natot kayak tayo mo 15 ukimiyot 1906. Kalong bilay lami 7. Laktit pimi 5. Akbaktam nang iwalok 3,000 pound. Pikwel. Sukawak to niya sin 500 week. Sukawak si taman na. Sukawak to sa ilis na view. Iloane.
Tam na inna.
Tamat ko ano es with 12.
Oh, yeah.
12 feet long. Atak ka 12 feet long. $70 pound. Tayo man na ang uniyak pagtuatay. Kakapasok. Tayo masilit so kayo kapikik. Kanitian ka ba man? Tamaw nga siya may jahit. Okswal taman na suli okso sa napluwam akapang okso. Lalaman niya, aputayin may man. Noon namin siyang ukamik. Noon natin mali okso uyak katun. Iman na li okso ikilurok puminak. At kayo milik. Aputayin man noon. Itik to na unak na to. Tuktu aman, tuktu tunda, tabukso, oksok. Isumit, aktunat sa bibilo, kodla kaya bilo. Nandiya kaya bilo walo taman. Stalay tutu. Nandiya ang ituati.
Ko ba ingilakan pat nunatigon?
Ya, tayo ba, tam namin ikilo. Kanad lang ayok, umaik pasagratalo ay luwakto. Tamna nuna chiklu. About 6 feet chiklu. Nuna, iman na to, pawak ko naktuat. Ano, kanap tawa, ano kayo kay taksiman kong ilun no ang kasi. Ataw takamulugo. Tam. Nuna may tsawlo fi ba house ton. Igalirak to ko lang. Inaluenik ugjum. Ilani kalau mamianik. Kay beti yung kapag may yun tila. Siya kumama na. Ya uwani. Nuli akit prablit. Akyari suri prablit. Uma usi agdagtalot. Ikari prablit. Ukaliptok. 2 bedroom, marok tao inaglonin, ako agsalon tao kalit. Nulayag ito ako yung ito. Dahil man tatsuli. Alam, natermiloy lang sinig pagprim, ma'am. Iklarit ko. Tunay Diyos siligaluat. Kan napangal lang ayaw ka. At sa pislatan ito, alok tunay Diyos siligaluat ikilutam. Ilain mikiwit, ilain tangiyot. Aglan, pangaw na niwak, tata. Aliw, kanup ko, alika. Alangas ko. Kone ito alay, ko ta, iluwak pamiyan, niwak. Tawa mo.
Agbatay maliblugo, inuyak negatam na, nuna. Inmigo ni Inuit, kapsiset kisingok sutigay, Kitigaaryuit mo. Awan ito at Inuit, Abangmewani kung nuyot minatik lu flow minatik lu
Wani kisiani.
Batualu ku wani tay malagiti ke nunami. Imanay lu yut pangnigay tay mani all time matu siya nunamun tutik sin nakay lugo kiyong nagpirok sinaksagot pibang nigay.
Sao yutun
Sao yuwak na gidi.
Sao yutun kiyong kisiani. Kaluin na ko.
Kisiani matupulok. Mata ko din ma takuna ko din mamanik kalau waktu itu matay man
Nuna ba?
nunam talog bulu kita kan
Things today are different. The Siglig are very much a part of modern society. We have settled land claims and now have multi-million-dollar corporations. Although we have all these modern facilities, we still have a great interest in our culture. It's work like this at Kitigaaryuit that may help to save what's left of the Siglig culture of thousands of years ago. I'm Topsy Cockney.
I've always been artistically inclined ever since I was little, and it's just a matter of developing it, I guess. I never became interested. I was born with it, I guess. I'm a commercial artist. That means I have a skill of being able to produce artwork very quickly in colorful form, so that's what I do. I have very strong feelings about the North. In everything I've ever done, whether it be teaching or working for the CBC or for the newspaper, I've always tried to somehow get across the feelings that I have for the North, the people of the North, and the struggles that they've gone through to get to where they are so they can be independent. And I think a lot of my inspiration comes from the feelings I have about the North and the people. The many things that are hard to say, hard to put down in words, but are a lot easier to express through art. I do pastels, soft pastels, and they're a bit like chalk. They're very soft, very fine, and they give a lot of feeling. They're very colorful. The colors are already there made for you, which is good. Very easy to work with and very quick. And they're portable and affordable, and they just require some spray painting afterwards. But it's when it comes to framing these works, they require glass over them to protect them. I start right from a pastels. I start right using with them. I don't use pencils because I found pencil is too hard to remove once you've started on a page and you do a sketch in pencil, it's too hard to take off. So I start right away with a neutral color of pastel, and then I begin working. I start working from the back and I come up forward. Or I'll start with a color that's the lightest and work my way to the darkest color, or either way, but I try not to interfere too much with getting all the colors mixed up. I do most of my work at home. I find that since I'm not working anymore and sort of giving my time full to my artwork, it's the best way to do it. You can't work at a 9-to-5 job and then try to come home and be an artist, because my mind is so full of a lot of things that are going on, the politics. I always get very excited about the things that are going on in and around Inuvik. So it's been good to remove myself from other things and stay home and do my artwork. I get all my materials from Toronto and Edmonton. And yes, it is very expensive. The freight is expensive also. So when you're looking at buying a piece of artwork, I automatically have to include all the price for the materials, and it's not cheap having to bring them in from the north, and then not being there to shop myself in Edmonton. I'm relying on the phone for somebody to pick my colors. Well, I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. I work around it. All through, while I was growing up, I always had little sales here and there. If there was a craft show, I did enter many craft shows here in Inuvik. I made hasty notes, printed cards for many years, and I've sold them all my life that I've known. I've always made my own Christmas cards every year, and sometimes that gets really difficult because churning out 100 cards, and you don't want to spend all day doing one card. But no, I've sold a lot of my work through the years. This is my first art show. I'm quite nervous about it. I don't know how it'll be. I'm really nervous about being there. I'm nervous about answering a lot of questions, I guess, from people, because whether you take, no matter what kind of work you do, to me, it's my own personal expression. I have feelings for it, and to go out and talk about my feelings, you feel a little bit like you're on display.
Yeah.
But it's something I've wanted to do, and I think I've finally got the courage to start to do it, and I think I'll be a better person if this is what I've always wanted to do. So for God's sake, it's time to get on with it and do my artwork. There's a lot of work. It's not just producing. Because I'm new, I'm trying to do everything. I'm trying to be my agent and my organizer. We're having a wine and cheese do. You have to order all the wine and the cheese, and you've got to do all the mechanical things as far as preparing for an art show and do the art as well. So it's a lot of work. I think I'm more a landscape person. I really get a thrill out of sunsets, and there's so much sky and land here in the north, and the skies are just so beautiful that I don't know, when I'm working on one, like I'm working on one right now, the sun is just caught in between all the trees, and it's just so really nice. I like doing those kind of things, I guess. I also like doing people, though, but I don't like to. I think I would find it restricting if someone said, "Okay, I'd like you to do a portrait of me," or something. I'd find that really hard to do because I'm set. I've got to make you, I like to do people, but I like to do a culmination of I'll take your nose and her eyes, or something, I don't know. I like to do my own people. I like to take out the things in people that I like, and in that sense, I enjoy doing people because you get a charge out of some of the expressions you can get across through people. But I like doing landscapes most of all, I think, because I really have a feeling for the land here. The reason why I do all my artwork and the feelings that I get is that, and I hope, that when people do look at my work, I'm not a Renoir or a Rembrandt or somebody who's famous in that sense, although who knows, maybe 20 years from now I'll be that. But the thing that I do ask when people look at my work is that I just hope they get a feeling out of it, some little feeling, whether it be a surprise or a little laugh. When I do my work or when I look at work, I like to look at it and get a giggle out of it, or a laugh or a smile, or, oh, gee, that's really peaceful and quiet and makes you feel that way. That's the main thing that I want to get across in my art, and I hope that's what comes through.
Thank you very much, Audrea.
Thank you, Debbie.